All right, all
With
right.
my new background. Hey. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Oh, we're on air. Look at that.
Hmm. Yes, we're so excited.
You
Hey,
never noticed
everybody.
that before. It says on air. We're on air. Okay.
Oh,
I feel
you
like I'm in a radio station or something.
have.
A
You're
TV
on
station,
there.
I guess I should say.
Right, with the big screen
Right.
sign.
Yep.
Like on air, on air. All right, everybody, we're on air. Hey, hey.
We in here.
Right. So we are here another Wednesday, and we are so excited to be here. It's a joy to come every week to talk to you guys.
Yes, it is.
All right.
And
So
this is actually because it's the 17th. So next Wednesday is going to be Christmas Eve. And then the Wednesday after that, it's going to be New Year's Eve.
yeah,
So y'all know what we'll be doing.
right. We'll be
We
with our
won't be water cooler Wednesday.
right. We'll be with our families. And so we want you to do the same thing. Spend some time with your family as well during those times. And then catch us in the new year.
Yep.
Mm-mm. All right, Lisa, what we talking today about?
Oh, we talking about the new year.
Yes,
We ready. We all about that P word, preparation.
right, right. But the thing is, the topic really we're talking about is how people always say, I'm gonna wait until next year.
That's
Right?
true. Yep.
Right.
This is
I'm
always,
gonna
I
wait.
think I'm
So
just gonna wait until next year.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we hear this saying very often. I'm just gonna wait till next year. Okay, well, next year is here almost, guys. So have you done anything while you're waiting till the next year? And why do people say we wait until the next year? Right? Like,
That's a good question.
right, like what's the purpose of it?
Yeah, I
So
think some people think some things gonna be better. But we could talk about that. I think that's a good thing to address. Like,
yeah,
what are the reasons why people might even say something like that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
this is definitely something we hear a lot. So, um, that's what we're gonna talk about tonight.
right.
Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means you have to still be doing something.
And right, and that's it exactly. So a lot of times, most people, the reason why they tell us, well, we're gonna wait till next year is because of the interest rate. Right, a lot of people have been waiting for the interest rate, and I
Yes,
think you've been waiting like 2 years probably for the interest rate to go back down.
right.
Right, so
Yeah,
then they're waiting for the prices to go down.
right.
Right. And then
Mm,
the last reason why people always talk about their waiting is basically they're fearful. They're fear of not being ready.
yeah,
So
I think that's the biggest thing.
yeah. I think it's easy to say, "Oh, I'll just wait. I think I'm gonna wait till next year."
Right.
Right?
Instead of
And
just saying, I'm definitely afraid that I won't be able to actually complete this transaction because I haven't done the things I need to do in order to be ready. So I'll just wait.
I'll just wait. I'll wait. I'll wait and do nothing still.
Right. I'll just wait and do nothing. That way, yeah. Then I'll have the same excuse next year that I'm not ready. And so that I think probably need to just wait. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So those are actually really good concerns, honestly. Interest rates, obviously people do want to take into consideration what interest rate they'll get. Although my philosophy at this stage of the game is you marry the house and you date the rate. Because
Hmm.
when interest rates change, then that means that we could possibly change your rate. So maybe
Right.
like I have a couple people right now that they bought their houses at a time when interest rates were in the sevens. And so we're refinancing now because now I can get them an interest rate in very low six. I think I'm this one person. I think he's at a six. He's coming from like a 7.7 to a 6.1. He's going to save like $300 a month on his mortgage.
Right, and I'm sure he's happy about that.
Oh yeah,
But then he's already got the house that he
he
wanted.
already got the house that he
Right.
wanted, and not only that, but because this is going to tie into the next thing that you talked about, the second thing that you had addressed, because he didn't wait. This
Mm-hmm.
same house that if he would have bought it now, it would have probably cost them about $20,000 more.
More. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So like everyone's saying, oh, we're waiting for the interest rate, we're waiting for the price. But what's happening is the prices of houses are not going down, they're going up. And so
Yep.
really, if you bought it now, then you're gonna say, but you wait until the interest rate does go down a little bit,
Yeah.
because we haven't had many dramatic changes. But if
No.
it goes down a little bit, then really you're just getting the house for, like the house is costing you so much more money.
It actually is, yeah. I'm gonna, you know what, on our next, the next time we talk about something like this, I want to prepare an example so people can see. I think it's going to be hard to do live right now, but
Hmm.
I think it would be good for people to actually see numbers. Like, okay, here's the house. If I buy it this year at this price, at this interest rate, what that looks like, as opposed to if I wait and buy it next year when it's $20,000 more.
Yeah.
And the interest rate is slightly lower over that same 30-year period, what does that look like as far as an investment on your behalf? And you'll be able to see it actually does make a big difference. $20,000 more that you're paying for the house, as opposed to temporarily paying maybe a couple of $100 more in interest for maybe a year. So what's that? Say it's $200 more per month for a year. 200 times 12 is 24. So 2,400. You're paying $2,400 more in interest as opposed to $20,000 more
In price
in the
over
price.
years. Over years plus the interest rate.
Plus the interest, right? Because that's another thing, is that we can't charge you interest on principal that isn't there. And when
Hmm.
you pay $20,000 more, you've just added $20,000 more of principal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're going to charge you more interest on that principal, because now we have more interest or more principal to charge it on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing. And then I think, like you said, also people will say that they're not ready. Well, we're gonna help with that today.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had so many people say that I wish I'd started sooner.
Yeah,
Oh, I wish I had not waited.
that's
But
true.
yeah.
That's true. Because it's really not the timing. Timing is not what puts you in control. Actually, what puts you in control over your transaction really is going to be that preparation, being ready to go. So what's that saying? If you already ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Exactly. Right. Right.
Right. So, and my mom used to always say when I was growing up, she still say it now, but I don't hear it as much. But you got to strike when the iron is hot. So if
Hmm.
you're prepared, then when the iron is hot, you ready to strike. As somebody else, they gotta heat up whatever they gotta do, because they still gotta get ready. You don't have to do that. If you're
Yeah. Yeah.
preparing and you're ready, then when that time hits and when it's your time, that preparation
Then
is what puts you in control.
what's in it?
And preparation is also what allows you to dictate timing.
Yeah. And the thing is, we really need to be clear, right? That saying that you're ready to start right now
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you're going to be buying a house tomorrow, right?
Right. That's
So
true.
we're talking about planning, right? So Lisa and I always talk about the P words, right? Planning, preparing, right?
Yes.
All those things, all our special P words, because what happens is maybe you're not ready, and we have people that assist us within our team that can help get you ready, right?
Right.
So maybe your credit isn't where it needs to be, but you've come to us, and now we're starting with the credit repair specialist to get you where you need to be as far as your credit score is concerned.
Yep.
Right? Maybe Lisa has identified that more bills, you have to pay off a few bills. So
Yeah. Or pay something down, or yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes that helps opening up your utilization, those kind of things. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, all of those are really good things, because when you do get ready, you want to have that roadmap in place. You want to already have
Hmm.
everything together. So let's talk about that a little bit, since this is the time when we're going to help you to get prepared for 2026. So we said, oh, I want to wait till next year. Well, next year is here, honey. In about 2 weeks, it's going to be next year. So we're going to
Right.
help you out and get you ready. So let's talk about some numbers. Y'all know I'm the numbers girl. So the first number that I would talk about would be the C in CIA, which, that's my thing. Credit score, your credit score. What number is that? So, just to kind of give you a little bit of a gauge, first of all, a lot of people think that, when
Mhm.
they go into something like a Credit Karma, or what's the one that they do Credit Wise? I think they do it like on Capital One or something like that. First
Mhm.
of all, those credit scores are consumer scores. They are not lender scores. So when you guys see those, that's not always the same thing that I'm going to see as the lender. So don't think that, oh, Credit Karma said I got a 800 and then I see it, and it's 770. You're like, wait, uh, it's honest,
Right.
because Credit Karma is a consumer score model as opposed to my model, which is going to be for a mortgage lender score. So
Yeah.
they are definitely two different things. And the other thing is that most mortgage lenders are going to look at the middle score of the three. So you have
Mhm.
TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, whichever is the middle score. So if you have a 600, a 620, and a 640, I'm going to take 620 as being, I'm going to say the 620 is your middle score. That's the one
Yeah.
I'm going to use to drive your transaction. So if you're saying, oh, well, I should be able to go into a down payment assistance program, they say you only need to have a 640. Well, technically, you don't have a 640 because your middle score is a 620.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
With those credit wise, credit karma, they're good for you just to have an idea of where you're at.
yeah.
But and so then you know that it's not accurate, but you know that okay, they're showing that you have some late payments, things like that. So you're working towards those things, getting rid of any disputes, things like that. So I we would say don't think of it as being gospel, but
Mhm.
it's just a tool to use in order to kind of make sure you stay on track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good way to think of it. Absolutely. The
Mhm.
other thing would be, as far as your credit goes as well, in conjunction with that would be just what are you paying every month? Looking at your monthly debts. I encourage people to have an idea of where you are comfortable,
Yeah.
because what we normally do, we're trained here in America that everything is, basically factored into a monthly payment. So you think of things, oh, okay, the way you think of whether or not you can afford something is how much is going to cost me every month, right? Because you know what you
Mhm.
can spend every month. So you need to think about your mortgage payment like that too, just right up front. What's the level of comfort? And then also think, if it took for your dream home or for the home that you really wanted to be more than that, how far could you extend yourself out from where you say your initial comfort level is? Because most of the times people are very, very conservative. They say, oh, well, I only want to spend, so they try to go
Yeah.
for like the smallest amount, but the smallest amount may not get you what you actually want. So you want to look beyond just what's the smallest amount, because everybody would love to have a mortgage that's only $300.
Yes. Right.
I
Right.
would like
Or
that too.
right. Or $1,100. Right. Like that. I think that seems like it's always like a common number. Oh,
Yeah, like
right.
11, 12, yeah,
I was
13.
thinking about $1,100. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Like, nah,
And so do
I
you
don't even
want
know a lot of places you can pay rent for
right,
$1,100
right. So
nowadays.
that's what like so then we're like, so do you want a condo? Oh no, I want a single family home with 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and the basement finished, and a garage, 2 car garage.
And it's got to be at least 3,000 square feet.
Exactly. 1,100 is
Okay.
not gonna get you where. So we got to be realistic about your
Yeah.
number too, because we'll start you off with 1,100, and we'll show you the homes for 1,100. Don't be mad at us, because
Right.
don't be mad at us, because that's what happens. They be like, "Why you show me this house?"
Because
That's
this is
what
what you
eleven
said you want to
hundred.
spend.
Right. That's what 1,100 is. Right. So
Right.
so you
Yeah.
really gotta think of realistic numbers as far as okay, this is I understand, maybe just find asking Lisa first, like, okay, well, I see a lot of homes are that I really like are in the price range of $300,000, right? So
Yeah,
then Lisa could say, okay, well, that mortgage would be,
right.
and then
And
you
a
could,
lot of times that is the very conversation that we end up having, because I'll say, well, most people look online and they kind of have an idea of some houses that they see that they like. How much are
mhm,
those houses costing? When you see something online that you like, how much does it usually cost? And I say, oh, about 280. Oh, okay. Well, you gonna pay more than $1,100 for a $280,000
mhm,
house. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Now, pretty soon, I have to see exactly how this will factor out, because I haven't priced any 40-year mortgage loans out. But they're doing that. They're bringing that in as a possibility. It sounds like it's actually pretty much a thing. I know we've got some non-QM stuff that we can already do 40-year mortgage.
yeah,
But the I think definitely it's pros and cons. It's a positive way to look at it, and it's also a negative way to look at it too. You definitely have both. One of the positive things I would say is that if you are in a position where you're really looking to just extend your payment longer so that your monthly payment can be less, might not be a bad option.
yeah. It may be, maybe the option is to go in with a 40-year,
Hmm.
um, and get the house that you want at the payment you want, and then as your
Yeah,
income changes, as things you see things
refinance. Hmm.
right adjusting, then you can refinance for shorter years, right? So I know my husband and I had refinanced it. Don't do a 30-year again. And so then he did a 15-year. I was like,
Hmm.
okay. And it was, a reasonable amount for us that we can handle, and not going back into a whole 30-year mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can do that as like real flexible. Like I can go to if you wanted to do a 22-year loan, I could do a 22-year loan or
Hmm.
18-year. Like, it doesn't have to be specific 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It could be almost anything more, as long as it's more than 10. It can be any of those
Yeah,
numbers.
those numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep,
Lisa.
because sometimes for people it makes more sense to say, well, I've been paying in this mortgage 5 years, so instead of doing a 30, I only want to do a 20, or I want to do a 23 or something. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to go back into a 30-year because I've already been
Right.
paying on it for so many years, right?
Exactly, exactly. That makes
So,
perfect sense. And something else I think so we've already talked about the credit score, then, looking at your house as a monthly payment and what that feels like and everything. Something else so people don't usually consider in detail would be savings.
yeah.
Now, I want to say something about savings that because it's not just the money that you have available for your actual cash to close. You got to have earnest money right up front. So plan on at least $1,000 for that, 500 for your home inspection, and probably 600 for your appraisal. So that's a couple $1,000 right there, like $2,100 right there. But then you also are going to need to have money for your cash to close. A lot of people think that just because, even if you get down payment assistance, because that's a possibility, we do those, but
Yeah.
even with that down payment assistance means it's assisting you with the down payment. It doesn't always mean that it's going to cover all of the costs, because depending on how your numbers fall out, that may not happen. A lot of times you still end up bringing a little bit of something to closing. So
Yeah.
you need to be prepared for that. But another thing is, even if you don't have to bring a lot to closing, a lot of times it's in your best interest to have money that you don't need to spend. Just
Yeah.
saved. Just, we
Yes,
call
sir.
that reserves in the mortgage
Hmm.
industry. When you have reserves, that makes your loan file a lot more favorably viewed. So in other words, when an underwriter is checking it out, now they say, oh, okay, well, they got money. And so if they needed to, for some reason, pay the mortgage because like they were off work or something like that, that's okay. They'll be able to handle that, because see how Dion just disappeared. Now she's coming back. But they'll be able to handle that. because they have money in an account. It could be a retirement account, a savings, a CD, 401k, deferred comp, different things like that. But it does just need to be money in an account that you would have just in case, like your rainy day money, something
Hmm.
like that. That's always viewed much, much more favorably for your loan file.
Right. One of the things that I want to talk about a little bit, just a little bit, we talk about the home buying process and everything all the time. But what I've been seeing a lot of is people, um, even like a veteran, a VA loan. They're
Yeah,
like, well, I have a we're going to get a VA loan, so we don't have to have any money.
yeah, that's not true.
That's not true. Right? Like, they're like, well, we have VA loans, so we don't need any closing costs.
No,
No.
VA loan means you don't need a down payment. That's if you have full entitlement, then you don't need a down payment. It's truly a 100% mortgage loan. So you're not required to put any money into the loan as far as your down payment. But it's still closing costs. The title company still got to get paid. The lender still has to get paid. You still have to fund an escrow account.
Yeah. And I so a lot of times I've been running into this lately because, oh, well, there's I have the grant program and I have the, um, or the VA loan or all these different things, which are good because we want you to have those things. We work for
Hmm.
you to make sure that you're either able to qualify for a grant program or make sure that if you're a veteran, taking advantage of the 100% down payment.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I always try to negotiate and get some credit towards your closing costs, right? But you still need to bring some money. So when we're saying savings, make sure you have the money saved because sometimes the lender needs to just show the money in your account. You may
Yep.
not have to even use it.
Yep.
And so then that way you'll have that money saved. You're not having to worry about borrowing it from a friend or anything like that with family member, right? But make sure you when you save, you have enough saved in order to go through the process. So,
Yep. Absolutely. What
mhm.
about the timeline?
Well, let's say this: credit improvements don't happen overnight. Okay, right. Like we're all trying to work on our credit. Everybody's trying to make sure it's perfect. Our credits are perfect, right? And so that takes a lot. It takes you making sure that you're putting yourself on the budget and making sure you're making your payments on time and
Yeah.
you're inquiring. So a lot of people like, oh well, I'm going to work with a credit repair specialist, and they're going to get my credit down and I'm gonna be ready. Okay. Starts with you. It starts with you, right? So even if they do their magic and able to get your score up, you still got to be consistent in order for your score to stay there.
You do.
And right,
Hmm.
and you got and because there's little things that happen where maybe something the credit repair specialist did but then it actually comes back anyway. So
Hmm.
you have to be consistent with your credit, and if you start now and you're planning on purchasing, let's say not in 2026 but in 2027, you're at least making a good pattern for yourself.
Yeah, but why would you wait till 2027? You just go ahead and buy in
We don't want them
26.
to wait that long. But I'm just saying. I
Right.
mean, it's their favorite saying. I'm just gonna wait till next year.
Right. Right. Because you'll just keep waiting. If you say
Right,
that, you will literally just keep waiting.
right.
So,
It's their favorite saying. But
right.
but just to know that when you're working on your credit, it just does. It's not an immediate fix. It
Hmm.
doesn't happen overnight.
And another thing about a timeline too, as far as forecasting how long things are going to take and stuff like that, it's good to have a target. Anybody will tell you who, specializes in helping people meet goals. I follow a lot of people for self-improvement and, business acumen and things like that, just learning how to be better as a person and as a
Mm-hmm.
business professional and everything. Anybody would tell you that if you're going to have a goal that you really plan to meet, it needs to be something measurable, something that you can attach somehow. You got to make it into a number. It's got to be something that you can somehow measure. So you need to be able to say, okay, I want to be in the house by June of 2026. And then you work your numbers back from there. That's what I normally do with people. Like just talking to somebody a couple of days ago, maybe last week, and we were talking about he wants to be in the house by March. Okay. So then that means that you have now to kind of get your credit and things like that together. I'm going to look and see where you are as far as your history, where's your income, what can we anticipate? And then you're going to need to be out looking, pre-approved and looking by the middle of January. So you can probably have a contract by sometime in February, so that by the end of February, early March, you'll be closed and ready to move into your new home. So
Yeah.
you gotta start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
Start at March and then work back from there to know all the things that you have to do and set your steps in place.
So we're almost at 30 minutes, Lisa.
Oh yeah.
What would you say they should do in the next 90 days?
Um, I would say get in contact with me
Mm-hmm.
first, because the unless you have 100, 200, 300, $400,000 that you're going to use to pay cash for your house, the biggest thing that you need to do is know what you're working with as far as numbers. So I would say get in contact with me. We can put together some kind of a plan, like maybe we can maybe a soft credit pool or something like that, and see where your credit actually is. So it's not pressure. We're not actually pre-qualifying you. We're just looking at where you are right now to kind of anticipate what we'll need to do to get you where the goal that you would have, like whether it's that June, July, whatever that is. Stop guessing, start planning.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's get it.
definitely. Start planning. Don't take the guess out of it.
Mhm.
Look at the numbers. Have an idea of what price range what your goal is. Look at
Yeah.
the areas of the different houses that you're interested in, and what is the price range of the houses that are in those areas. So then you know what you're targeting for. So then that way you can make sure you can meet that goal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would also say that no big purchases. If possible, no purchases at all. Don't be buying nobody a ring or a car or anything like that. No yachts, no boats, please. Thank you.
Yes,
Um,
right.
and if anything, you can already start making, you could even do a separate account. Some people I've known to do this over the years. They'll actually open up an account. They might just, nickname it house. And that's the account that they put all the money in that's going to go towards the down
Yeah,
payment for the house, or, whatever they think that they're going to need in order to go towards the home.
right.
So
Just
all of those different things will
put
help.
$100 a month into the bank to that banking account every pay period. Just put a hundred
Yeah.
dollars to an account that's out to the side that you're not even thinking about it. That would be your best option, right? So that way you have the money that you need in order to for your down payments for
Hmm.
that $2,000 that's needed at the beginning of the transaction.
Absolutely. Because you got to have
Mhm.
all of that.
Yeah.
So this is for you. If you are tired of renting, if you want to buy but you feel unsure, and if you've been told not yet, a lot of times people tell y'all that because they don't want to do the work. Not everybody has the same ethic that me and Dion do. We do
Hmm.
the work. So you can talk to plenty of our customers that will tell you, I talked to such and such a person. They don't have to get nobody's name, but they can just say whatever their previous loan officer. I talked to that person and they told me that I couldn't buy, or they told me what I couldn't do. We don't tell you what you can't do. We tell you how you can do what you're trying to do and approximately how long it will take.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you've been told no or you've been told not yet, don't believe it. Just come and talk to us and see what we have to say about it. Because if you plan to move in 25 or 26, then this is the place where you need to be.
Yeah. We're ready. We're waiting for you. All right, guys. If you have any questions for us and you want to get started, we're ready. We're ready for the
We're
2026
ready. We're
people. We're
ready.
ready for you. So the first thing you need to do is, first thing you need to do is contact Lisa next to lending. She can definitely get you set as far as your money is concerned. And if you have any questions about houses, want to get on a search, automatic search set up so you can see the
Mhm.
houses that's actually on the market right now, and properties that are coming on a regular basis. I can set a search up for you, and we can make a plan together. So take the time, give us a call. We are here for you, and we definitely want to help you. We're ready for
Absolutely.
2026. So
2026, let's go.
right. All right. And do us a favor, go onto YouTube, like and subscribe so you can make sure you can get all the videos that we have every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. So, but remember, next
Like,
week we're
subscribe.
not gonna be here, and the
And the week
following week
after, we're not going to be here
we're
either.
not gonna be here. So, but we're gonna come back in January. We're gonna come back strong and ready, and with topics for 2026, and make sure you're ready because we will be.
I
Bye, guys.
like that, Dion.